Hey there, it's Martin Schneider with Constellation Research. First off, we're here at Dreamforce, but really want to thank Certinia for having us here at their amazing little setup here at Fogo de Chão, right next to the Moscone Center. It's been a great Dreamforce so far. It's been a great day here with meeting a lot of Certinia's customers, meeting a lot of their partners. It's been really, really cool. But right now, I want to talk about how professional services and customer success teams can kind of come together when we really think about that holistic approach to customer lifetime value optimization. You got to bring it all together, and one really great way to do that is bringing professional services and customer success together. So I've got two great people who understand all that. I've got Simon Creasey from HPE, and I've got Jocelyn Zanasi from Salesforce. So guys, I'm gonna ask you guys a few questions. I know you guys have been busy today. There's a lot going on, but first, Simon, I know you guys from the Certinia perspective of how you guys are automating a lot of your customer lifecycle. You've been using the professional services cloud and now recently the CS cloud. What were some of the drivers in kind of making this transformation, and what were some of the things you were looking to accomplish?
Sure. Well, this is really our second iteration at putting a customer success platform in place. We had invested heavily before in a prior platform, but really what we found is we weren't getting the value that we were looking for. And part of that is because the way we had implemented, we'd almost created a knowledge and data silo. So I think Certinia often say to us that customer success is a team sport. That's definitely true at HPE. We had our CSMs working with our sales teams, with our delivery teams, with our different parts of the organization, but they were collaborating in PowerPoint and SharePoint and in email because they didn't have access to the CS tool. So they do all that collaboration, and then someone would turn around to CSM and enter the details into the CS tool. That's not making them more productive. It's not adding value to the customer. So really, we wanted to move to something that was giving us commonality of the data model, that was allowing the collaboration, and really the CS cloud that comes from Certinia really met those boxes because we have a heavy investment in Salesforce. That means that we can have a CS environment where we have native access to our sales and pipeline data. We've got native access to our support case data. We use PSA so we can see what's happening with our projects and our installations, all on one environment through one single pane of glass. So really ticked all the boxes we were looking for.
Love that. So any kind of challenges or like a major lesson learned in kind of bringing that together?
I think the lessons learned, a positive one, is that when we were going through the implementation, we started by looking at our foundational methodology. So before we got to the tool, it's how do we make sure we've got the right CS method, the playbooks, our templates, and the approach that we're going to take. Because you can't make a good process out of having a good, you can't turn a bad process into something good with a good tool, right? So what we did is laid that foundation, and then another key to our success was we identified change agents within each of our geographies, so each of our different field teams at both the user level and the leader level. And they helped us actually shape what was the solution we were putting in place, and they became the key advocates to drive the deployment. Really helped us with the adoption.
Love that. Now, Jocelyn, you guys have used the term like Salesforce, kind of the power of one platform. But what does that mean for you when it really comes to bringing professional services and customer success together, kind of as one team, having it kind of, it's kind of an all-season sport, right?
Exactly that, and it has to be, because if you think about this from a customer experience point of view, they want us to know them. They want us to know them in depth, in detail, and that is honestly how we build the most trust that we possibly can, is when we show up collectively, understanding them really deeply. When we segment, and if we just talk about them in isolation, then actually they're only going to get up that experience in silos, and they're going to feel that. A customer is going to feel as if we are basically commoditizing them into wanting to sell one thing at a time, as opposed to considering in general how we're engaging with them. So you hear a lot like here at Dreamforce about Agentforce and about the future of agentic enterprise. That is a leap of faith for many customers, right? This is a brand new technology. We're going to ask them to come on this journey with us. We're learning as customer zero. And you have to have trust as the foundation of that. You can't make that leap alongside us unless you truly trust us. So we've been utilizing the platform that gives a seamless view of that customer. So we're seeing them from every angle, their health, their well-being, the investment they're making in the platform, the investment they're making in skills on Salesforce, to really understand where they are on that journey, but also giving them the transparency that we know them truly, which is supporting and building that trust. Which, with that trust as a foundation, then we can talk about a new world that involves agents.
Gotcha. So talk about how Agentforce and Salesforce and Certinia together with Agentic AI can solve some of these problems that, especially in customer success, that issue of scaling, right? That personalized experience for post-sale and optimizing customer lifetime value, because so often we have to do these kind of tiered models, and these lower tiers, they don't get a personalized experience, they don't get the human touch. How can Certinia and Salesforce come together for you to do that for your own customer success operations and others?
Which it's a fabulous question. And actually, we are experimenting as Customer Zero in exactly this. So we're contemplating it from the different touch points that a customer has with us. So Customer Zero, you would have heard it in Dreamforce keynote earlier on, us talking about us being Customer Zero and help.salesforce.com, and how we're using Agentforce to be able to surface all of the data to serve as a customer from a help point of view. So it's 1.6 million agent answers right now in help.salesforce.com. So really servicing, I'm going to help you at any time of day or night with all of this data that we've aggregated to be able to service you. And we're going to utilize all the knowledge we have about you to make that a contextual answer. What level of service you have, what product you have, to be able to give you that answer. So that's our support offering. From a professional services perspective, which is where I spend my time, we're really thinking about how do I surface an agent. So if we're thinking about all of the data I hold from that customer, almost into a small language model version, placing an agent on top that I can then query using everyday natural language to say, what do I know about that customer? How's that project going? What's the customer health score of that customer when I place an agent on top of the data that we hold about their health? So for health, we look at the telemetry of usage of individual features, logons, how engaged the customer is to give us that view. And Agentforce gives us the ability to democratize that information. Place an agent on top of it, it doesn't matter where the data is. It matters what the workflow is that sits underneath it. It matters how we're utilizing the interaction of that data, which is why Certinia is so important to us, to be able to use that from a workflow of how we service our customers, and then agent allows us to query it with natural language.
That's awesome. So Simon, how do you see Agentic AI and kind of all these new advances that we're talking about from Salesforce to Dreamforce, and where Certinia is moving with its CS Cloud to really kind of change your approach to optimizing customer lifetime value?
Yeah, so I think there's so many opportunities across the customer journey to implement Agentic AI and AI in general to really drive value. We've got a tiered CS model as well, so going from the high touch, medium touch down into your digital and low touch. And across all of those different tiers, I think there's a lot of opportunity to drive productivity, to provide efficiency. One of the things I think that you touched on with the tiering is the tailoring that we have in a high-touch model with the personalization. You can really start to bring that to bear in your medium and your low-touch model without having to have a human behind it that's actually driving it. It can be very much data-driven, telemetry-driven to deliver that more personalized experience that's important to customers.
Great. Now, you've been through this transformation, both of you bringing Certinia and Salesforce and CRM data together to really create this complete kind of lifecycle management, not just bringing success and services together, but really rethinking the customer journey. What's been the benefits? Do you guys have any tangible results that you can talk about, that you've enumerated, any ROI that you can talk to? You want to go first?
Very happy to go first. Yeah, tangible results. So we were at an absolute pivot point as an organization. We traditionally thought about our customers in seats and renewals. So as a SaaS company, how many seats have they purchased? How are they renewing them? And that was, pretty much a binary data, and we could work our way back from a renewal and look at, okay, well, if it's a 2-year contract, we're working our way back in order to serve ourselves from that renewal. Then we brought into place Agentforce, Data Cloud, which are consumption models. So that means that we're servicing our customer in an entirely different way. And for our customers, we're servicing them typically in 2 different ways, all at the same time. So you need to be able to show that telemetry, share that with our customers on a daily basis, One, so that they have the confidence to continue to use Data Cloud, use Agentforce, consume without blowing their budget. So there's a huge part of that. Again, that's back down to our trust. Tell you what we're going to do and then make sure we do it every time. So the tangible benefits we're seeing is actually in the transparency that we can provide our customers, that the way we can service them, but also the way we need to service them based on the different kind of engagement that they have with us means that we have to contemplate the type of engagement, the regular touch points that we have, how we guide them. They're going through this journey with us. They're experimenting with us. We need a different customer service engagement. So customer success becomes an everybody challenge, not just the challenge of an individual department. Every touch point, every person engaging with a customer needs to understand what role they're going to play. So we can bring that data together so we understand how are we engaging with that customer through their whole lifetime.
That's great. Simon?
I think the platform really enables that, right from the original sales engagement through into your professional services projects, your managed services, and then into customer success. So you're working on that common data model and have that collaboration occurring naturally. I think it makes a huge difference. In terms of benefits we're seeing, we definitely see our users want to use the system. They see that it's making them more productive. It's allowing them to be faster at their jobs. They can take on more than they were before. We are seeing the leaders of our teams actually get in there and they're holding their one-on-ones with their team members in the platform. They're talking about how do we look at what are the next actions, what is the value realization factors for this customer, all collaborating within the tool. We're now at the point where I think our customer success plans have been enriched so much, we can actually pull out the client value drivers at a global level and we can Pareto them out and say, what is it that's really important to our customers now? We can share that information with our sales teams, even with our product teams and portfolio teams upstream, which is a game changer that we haven't had before.
That's great. So, I mean, the innovation is so fast, but also the benefits can come a little faster too because of the high uptake and the great adoption driver of just it being easy to use. You're using natural language to ask these questions and do queries in ways we really couldn't do before. That's really exciting and really great to hear. So, you know, we're at Dreamforce. There's a lot of people out there who are thinking about agentic AI, but they probably haven't started yet. They're thinking about, you know, how do we bring our services and our success teams together to create this much more holistic kind of full journey go-to-market, right? What's advice that you would give someone, you know, who's kind of starting on this journey to reinvent the customer journey? And it can seem a little daunting, you know, what's something, you know, that people can take some practical wisdom as if they're looking to get started today?
So for me, the biggest piece of advice we can give, contemplating anything, the Certinia platform, contemplating Agentforce, it's one and the same. From a business case and a mindset perspective, if you think about what are the time vampire elements of anyone's role, we use the time vampire because everyone goes, oh yeah, I know what that means. What are the things that are just sucking time, energy, resources, blockers that mean you've got a frictioned experience? Focus on those. That's the great way to think about, actually, how do I make the customer experience more frictionless? How do I make the user experience more frictionless? And when you figure out what those time vampire elements are, and then apply an agent on a platform that works that workflow perfectly for you, because you've thought about what the process should be, and then you've built that into a supporting platform, it's a fast way to start. So for me, my biggest piece of advice always when you're building a business case, when you're taking users on that journey, is think about how could I save time, energy, and passion, because passion is the thing that drives adoption. Time, energy, and passion by removing that time vampire for that individual. That's the fastest place to start.
Love it, love it. Any other thoughts, any other lessons learned from this transformation you've been doing at HPE, Simon?
I think one of the key things we did, which is very basic, is I think we were able to move very quickly. We from time of selecting Certinia, partnering with the professional services team, we got 600 users up and running within 5 months. A key to that was we really went with out-of-the-box functionality. We didn't try to drive customization. We got our methodology straight, got our house in order before moving onto the platform, but then adopted the key capabilities that the platform had to offer. And that really enabled us to scale quite quickly.
I love that. That combination of killing the time vampires, keeping it simple, leveraging it out of the box. I mean, great ways to get started and have quick wins and easy success and build that confidence Jocelyn, Simon, you've been amazing. Thank you for all your insights, and thank you all for joining us. And Certinia, again, thank you for having us here at Fogo de Chao at Dreamforce.